Today, we're talking about the results of Super Tuesday, the Supreme Court decision restoring former President Trump to ballots, updates out of Gaza, and other top news for Wednesday, March 6th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour-over today. Here's the quote of the day. Truth is given, not to be contemplated, but to be done. Life is an action, not a thought. Frederick W. Robertson. Let's get started with some espresso shots. Presidents Biden and Trump both had Super Tuesdays, all but guaranteeing a 2020 rematch in the general election this November. Super Tuesday is the largest primary voting day of the election cycle, when 16 states and one U.S. territory award over a third of all available delegates. Some states, like California, where there's a close Senate race, are still counting votes, though most finished boxing up ballots last night. Biden claimed victory in each state. His fiercest competitor was Democrats voting uncommitted. Nikki Haley began the week with a victory in Washington, D.C., becoming the first woman to win a Republican primary, but trailed far behind Trump yesterday. The former president won the majority of available delegates last night and is expected to clinch the nomination later this month, increasing the pressure on Haley to drop out. Whatever the outcome of 2024's election, the hope of Christians won't be shaken. Our truest home is God's kingdom, and He is our ultimate King. Live as exiles here, serving as Christ's winsome, peacemaking ambassadors, with your eyes fixed on your heavenly home. 2 Corinthians 5:14, 19, and 20 says, "For Christ's love compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all died. He has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making His appeal through us." The Supreme Court unanimously ruled that states don't have the power to prevent former President Trump or any other federal candidate from appearing on a ballot. Monday's ruling overturns the Colorado Supreme Court's decision to remove Trump from the 2024 presidential ballot and stops similar efforts out of Maine, Illinois, and other states. Central to the case was Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which was passed after the Civil War and bars anyone who engaged in insurrection from holding office. The Supremes declined to say whether Trump engaged in insurrection, ruling only that Section 3 must be enforced by Congress, not individual states. Despite the unanimous ruling, there was disagreement amongst the justices on some finer points, leading to one majority and two concurring opinions. Here's a verse to consider when discussing politically contentious topics with a neighbor. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peace-loving, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, unwavering, without pretense. James 3, verse 17. There's more hard-to-hear news about the Israel-Hamas war. The following story involves claims of harsh violence that may not be suitable for everyone. The UN released a report Monday saying it found reasonable grounds to believe that Hamas committed sexual violence and sexualized torture during the October 7th attack and against women and children taken hostage, warning such violence may be ongoing. The same report included accusations against Israel of cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment against Palestinian detainees. Zooming out, it's unclear whether ceasefire negotiations are progressing. Hamas reportedly responded to Israel's demand for proof of life by saying it's impossible to know which hostages are alive while attacks on Gaza continue. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris made some of the strongest comments by a U.S. leader thus far, calling for Israel to get humanitarian aid to Gaza and pushing for an immediate 6-week ceasefire, though her speech was reportedly watered down by national security advisors. God doesn't promise a world without troubles. Actually, Jesus said the opposite, but he does promise peace and victory over sin for all who trust in Jesus. During times dominated by uncertainty and fear, our hope is secure and we can cling to his promises. John 16, verse 33 says, "I have told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I have overcome the world."
Hey, it's Jason, the founder of The Pour Over. This year, I'm upping my quiet time game with the CSB Men's Daily Bible. It's the CSB translation I already trust and enjoy reading, paired with devotionals and insights that are broken down to help me boldly tackle the everyday challenges I encounter as I seek to be a man of God. Get your own CSB Men's Daily Bible and join me in discovering the truths of Scripture in direct, effective ways. Pre-order today and get their best deal with the promo code MDB50 for 50% off on Lifeway.com. That's MDB, like Men's Daily Bible, 50 for 50% off on Lifeway.com.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Haiti is under a state of emergency after a coalition of gangs stormed prisons and freed thousands of inmates. Gangs are demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Henry, who was abroad during the jailbreak, and are trying to take over the Port-au-Prince airport to block his return. Thousands are fleeing brutal violence, embassies are recalling staff, and Caribbean neighbors are tightening security. Houthi rebels are accused of cutting 4 underwater internet cables in the Red Sea, forcing 25% of internet traffic between Asia, Europe, and the Middle East to be rerouted. It's possible anchors snagged the cables, and the Iran-backed Houthis deny involvement. Making repairs could take several months, and the rebels say any cable-laying ships would need a permit from them. European Union regulators took a $1.95 billion bite out of Apple, ruling against the tech giant in an antitrust suit. Apple previously prevented Spotify and other streaming services from informing users about payment options outside the Apple Store, where Apple takes a 30% cut. Apple is appealing, saying there's no credible evidence of consumer harm. A crew of 3 U.S. astronauts and a Russian cosmonaut headed out of this world on Sunday. Propelled by a SpaceX rocket, the Endeavour capsule carrying Crew 8 reached the International Space Station yesterday. The group is set to replace the current ISS team and will conduct experiments aboard the station until the end of August. Bitcoin is back on its journey to the moon. The flagship cryptocurrency hit $69,208 yesterday, breaking its previous record of $68,990 set in 2021. Bitcoin's resurgence has been fueled in part by regulatory approval of exchange-traded funds in the digital currency. Bitcoin isn't the only crypto bouncing back. Dogecoin surged 70% in the last week. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great day. We'll see you on Friday. Most social media sells your data, peppers you with ads, and curates divisive content. Not Tuvu. Tuvu is wholesome social media built and moderated with the whole family in mind. Choose social media that uplifts rather than drains. Check out Tuvu, that's TUVU, at the link in our show notes.
Hey, Jason here. Are you tired of culture wars too? If so, check out the Truth Over Tribe podcast. It's too liberal for conservatives and too conservative for liberals. Patrick, a personal friend of mine, and Keith discuss culture, news, and politics all while seeking to follow the lamb, not the donkey or the elephant.